Hello, I'm Tom. Today's video is going to be about how running affects our mental well-being. Does it give us the runner's high? Does it make us smarter? So I'll delve into that a little bit. First of all, if you are suffering from depression, anxiety, or other kinds of mental illness, then please see your doctor. Although running does elevate moods, if you are suffering from some type of mental illness, running's not going to be enough. So please see your doctor. Secondly, my degree is in English, not neuroscience. So when I delve into a few of these things, I'm definitely not an expert in this area. But I have read a couple of articles that my wife, a registered nurse, approved of. So one was an article by Johns Hopkins University. Another one was from Cleveland Clinic. So those are reliable sources. I'm going to assume that yes, running does improve a person's mood. I know in my case, it certainly does improve my mood, and I did a little subjective, non-scientific experiment yesterday, and I'll go ahead and share that with you now. Yesterday, I assessed my mood prior to the run, and I honestly felt that I was neutral. I wasn't in a good mood, wasn't in a bad mood, just kind of felt mid-range. So then I went for a 3-mile run, and I did not feel good during the run, but that's because we had 86-degree weather, and I am not yet acclimated. So in Leeburg, 86-degree Fahrenheit weather, the weather that we had yesterday, was the hottest day yet. So I was uncomfortable during the run, did not experience a runner's high during the run. Oftentimes, I do feel good during my runs, and mentally and psychologically, emotionally, mood, I do, but not yesterday, just simply because of the hot weather. I was uncomfortable. So when the run ended, I was hot and sweaty and feeling uncomfortable, probably for about a half hour after the run. But then, after I recovered physically from the hot and miserable run, I began to feel better, and better than before the run. So emotionally, psychologically, mentally. And I felt relaxed, at ease, absolutely no anxiety whatsoever. Felt pretty good. I was experiencing a little bit of a runner's high, I would say. And this lasted for quite some time. I read somewhere where, the elevated moods from a run can last for maybe 2 hours, but my elevated mood lasted for at least 4 hours, 5 hours. And so that's my own little experiment as of yesterday. Okay, I'll attempt to give a little bit of science behind what's going on with the runner's high and why it occurs. Endorphins, it's been assumed that endorphins have been the cause of the runner's high. And I'll just start out by saying, yes, endorphins play a role, but it's kind of an indirect role. Endorphins are a hormone that's a natural painkiller. So the body, when we go for a run or any other kind of exercise for that matter, our body does release endorphins to counter any kind of pain or discomfort that we may encounter during a workout or a run. So what happens is the endorphins themselves don't produce good feelings, or they themselves don't elevate our mood. But what they do is set off kind of a chain reaction that results in dopamine being released inside of the brain. So endorphins do not cross the blood-brain barrier. And to confuse things further, dopamine generally does not cross the blood-brain barrier either. Dopamine has to be produced within the brain itself. So there is kind of a three-way chain reaction. Endorphins produce a molecule which crosses the blood-brain barrier, which then causes dopamine to be released, which then creates good feelings, euphoria, whatever. Okay, there's another thing going on. When we run, there is a molecules called endocannabinoids, if I pronounce that correctly, that are released during a run. And those do pass the blood-brain barrier, and those do cause good feelings, good emotions, good moods to happen, either during a run or in the time after a run. There's a couple of things going on that can produce the good feelings. Euphoria, if you want to call it, though I've never actually felt euphoric in a dramatic sense during or after a run. I should mention that runners don't have a corner on the market here when it comes to feeling good after exercise. Any kind of exercise will release endorphins, will release the endocannabinoids, any kind of exercise. It doesn't have to be just the slow zone 2 running. It can be harder running. It can be anaerobic running. It can be HIIT or HIIT training, which is hard training. It can be strength training, weightlifting. It can be cycling. It can be walking, going for a hike, anything that gets your body moving and your heart rate up will produce good feeling and good emotion. Okay, I'll mention something that older runners definitely should be interested in, and that is the effects of running or any kind of exercise on our thinking, our cognitive ability. Do we get smarter, basically, as a result of exercise? The answer is yes. Running or exercise actually stimulates the production of brain cells. So physical exercise results in more brain cells being produced. There's even a word for that, and it's neurogenesis. You're going to get smarter if you run, so you should be out there exercising. Not everybody experiences the runner's high or positive moods as a result of exercise. Why is that? Well, as I mentioned before, those with mental illness, depression, anxiety, or any other psychological ailments, exercise may not be enough. So please, again, see your doctor if you have any kinds of mental illness. There are other things that can keep you from experiencing an improvement in mood as a result of exercise. First of all, lack of sleep. If you're not getting enough sleep, that definitely affects your mood, and all the exercise in the world will not necessarily improve your mood. You may have a slight improvement in mood despite not getting enough sleep, but you may not either. So a lack of sleep can definitely affect your mood. Another thing would be nutrition. If you've got a lousy diet, if you're eating a lot of junk food, especially refined sugar, that's going to affect your mood, and exercise may not be enough to counter that negative effect on your mood. So an improvement in nutrition would be needed in that case. Another thing would be lack of recovery. There are some runners out there that are a little bit compulsive and probably run or exercise too much, and they don't get enough recovery, and so they're tired all the time. Well, that's going to affect your mood as well. So running or exercise if you're doing too much of it and not recovering, it's not going to result in the runner's high. You're going to be down and not feeling good all the time if you're not recovering. Done another video that focuses on recovery, so you can look into that as well. But recovery is essential. Not only is it essential for your physical conditioning to improve, but it's also something that contributes to your mental well-being. Thank you for watching. If you found this video enjoyable, helpful, educational, then please give it a like and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a nice day.